have the warming tent over there. It's a sold-out event, so people are going to enjoy the food, and then they're going to be judging it. We have a couple of celebrity chefs from out west coming in, Connie D'Souza and her partner Jack, and they're coming in and they're going to help judge. And then they're hosting a dinner and an icewine brunch on Sunday.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
So what would you consider your highlight of this year's festival?
The highlight of this one?
This year's, yeah.
Oh boy, well, the music is really spot on this year. Tonight we have Ashley McIsaac,
So
a
exciting.
Canadian icon, I know, coming on at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow we got the young blues phenom Spencer McKenzie, like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Then we do a fashion show, which is pretty cool, from Tintern Road, right on the main street here. And then we're going to finish off the night with Coleman Hell, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where are we tomorrow night?
You should be here.
So how many wineries are involved?
We have 20.
Wonderful.
20 wineries and restaurants. Yes. And one brewery.
And one
the
brewery.
Bench. Because
And then
we're
one
we're celebrating the 20 Valley here. This is our 20 Valley Winter Wine Fest. So you have to be a 20 Valley member to be part of this, right? So we happen to have, that's why we have Dylan's Spirits, we have Bench, and then we have some amazing wineries. So
Amazing.
pretty cool.
Excellent festivals support local.
Oh yes, oh yeah. Buy local, enjoy local, live local.
Oh, welcome to Flying for Flavor.
It was so good, though. This is so good, too.
Oh, we're on?
Yeah, hi. Look at us drinking and eating together again. So we are here at Lot 88 Steakhouse and Bar here in Sudbury. It is a locally owned chain that actually has been expanding rapidly. And they're actually one of our participants in the upcoming Flavor Fest that we keep talking about, and we'll tell you more about it later. But we thought that we'd kind of give you a preview of the venue. It's kind of hard to see in there, but we're upstairs.
You can't see it all.
There's an upstairs area, and the noisy bar is down there.
Can you talk about what their specialty is?
Yeah.
So cool.
Okay, you do it.
Okay.
So cool.
This is because I'm nerdy and I'm really snobby about my snake. Snake. I'm really snobby when I eat my snake. It's been a long day.
That's a different
So when I
show.
eat my steak, I don't eat snake yet. But when you actually come and they serve your steak on a slate, it is hot, like super boiling hot, and they actually serve you your steak is pretty much raw, and you cook your steak at your table. Which I've had some people go, oh my God, I'm paying a premium to cook my own meal. What the hell? Which is fair. I get that argument. But what I love is because I like mine cooked a certain way, and I can choose to eat it when it's ready, or I can put it on a little bit longer and take it off. And I just love that control. It's a neat kind of shtick, and I've never been anywhere where they have them, and they're called steak stones.
Yes.
Because I've actually looked at them for my husband, because I think this is like we come once a year when my company sends us money for like a Christmas party, because I work remotely, and this is where we come for our like Christmas dinner.
Ooh, fun.
So, but that idea of like they serve your steak to you with the slate, and then your veggies and stuff on the side as well that you kind of grill at your leisure. So it's like a Canadianized version of teppanyaki, or not teppanyaki, of hibachi kind of thing.
Yeah.
So not to say anything, my company sent me $15 for Christmas.
Oh no,
I'm
my
self-employed.
company.
I don't get nothing.
Yeah.
It's true. I was like, okay.
No, the company I work for is very, very generous. So yeah, so they give us this night out for two,
That's
basically give us enough for
beautiful.
the two of us, and we can do it however we want. We could go out and go bowling if we wanted to with it or whatever, but it's enough for us to come here and have dinner and a bottle of wine.
I know this is a side topic, but before they actually give you your steak, they actually do that system called, and I'm going to say it wrong, you know the immersion thing that you put in the...
Sous vide?
Thank you. That's what they do here, and they do it to a certain temperature, then they bring it out to you.
Really?
So it's not blue.
No.
I guess so, yeah, because it's at least, but it's brown, not
Well,
interesting.
they'll do a quick sear or something on it,
Yeah.
right? Just to sort of seal it, because the color of meat coming out of the sous vide
It's gray. It's not
it's
pretty.
not pretty.
Yeah.
So that's probably the reason why. But yeah, so you have the option to either cook it yourself, or you can have
them
them
cook
do it for you if you want.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun if you want to take little pieces and kind of sear it as you go. And they also have like lamb. There's not more than just steak that's here.
I haven't tried the lamb
I
yet.
know.
It's so
see?
good. It's so good.
Next time. Okay.
So good.
Anyways, they have a great oyster special here at Lot 88, and I just confirmed with the owner that they have it at all Lot 88 locations. So there's one it's here in Sudbury, there's one in North Bay, there's one in Waterloo, and there's going to be a new one opening in Winnipeg soon. So they're actually expanding across Canada, which is kind of cool. So their oyster special, or on Thursday special, is oysters are $1.25 each. Minimum order of 6, which is great if you just want to have like a little snack before dinner or late afternoon. And then they also have half-price bottles of wine.
Oh, that's what brought me in as I was throwing my cheese around. I got so excited about the half-price wine.
That's what I do
Tell
all
me
the
more.
time.
So it's great to come have a glass of wine, but especially if
why we're
the
friends.
restaurant location you're going to has the recorking service where you can order the bottle and they can cork it the rest of it if you don't finish
I
it.
love
take
that
it
they
home. It
recork
makes
it.
so much sense. So anyways, you're welcome. Okay, anyway, so that's one of the reasons that I chose it. There's going to be more information. We'll tell you about some of the events that are happening for Flavor Fest if you happen to be coming here to Sudbury, and you should be.
Absolutely.
But we'll talk about that later. Okay, so any industry updates, Cynthia?
Oh, do we have industry updates, my friend?
I know.
I'm so excited about today's.
She was excited about last week's too, so.
I love industry updates, especially when we find stuff like this. Okay, so let's talk about the first one. Hold on. Okay, what is your favorite part of going to any big theme park?
Funnel cake!
I thought you were going to say rides or something and totally ruin my stick. Funnel cake! I remember going, because I'm not a rides girl, but I remember going to like Wonderland in Toronto when I was
Still has
like
it.
in grade school, and I would go just for funnel cake because it was the only place you could get funnel cake.
With
So
ice cream.
apparently, Burger King has actually launched these carnival-inspired sticks debuting today. So Thursday, January 24th-ish. So they'll be available for a limited time at participating restaurants. So if you want your funnel cakes to stay, you should probably go and buy them. And I believe the suggested price is $1.99 US for 9 pieces. So that's kind of what it is. So Burger King describes the new menu as hot, crispy, funnel cakey goodness, fried sweet to crispy perfection, and topped off with powdered sugar.
So at Burger King, if you were looking for a new promo, there it is.
So I
excited.
don't know if we're getting it here in Canada, but at least in the US for sure, they're releasing them, and I think it's worth a shot. I mean, I'm not a huge Burger King fan. I'm a McDonald's girl, but I would go to Burger King just to try their funnel cakes.
My college days, I lived on Junior Whopper large fry through a drive-through at like 2 in the morning.
You're gonna say 2 a.m. drunk? Junior Whopper and poutine was the way to go.
So Sin, you might know, like being in the wedding, sort of the wedding invent stuff. Everybody has like those kinds of things where, for me, anyways, I've had a lot of orders for cakes. Segueing in is the fact, for baby showers and stuff. So there's a really cool update that you have, and I think it's
You
phenomenal.
do, listener. I love you. That was such a good segue. High five. That was great. So speaking of cake, a lot of people now, a new trend when people are having a baby is to have a gender reveal party. Thanks to technology and all of the things, we can now find
time ago
out.
for me, there was no such thing.
Good,
for
I didn't even
gender
have
reveal.
one, so
You can find out the sex of the
My
baby
dog.
you're having before your baby is born, and we have a party. And I've seen many videos online of opening boxes and balloons come up, cutting into a cake, and there's different colored icing depending on the gender, which actually could lead into a whole conversation about does the baby choose their gender, et cetera, et cetera, et
Oh,
cetera.
that's a whole other show.
That's,
A whole other show.
or you pick
but-
your parents before you even get here.
right?
Even better.
So, so there's a new trend in gender reveals called the gender reveal lasagna.
I don't know if it's so much a trend, but somebody's pulled it off, and there's people actually ordering it.
So there's a restaurant in it. It's Villa Italian Kitchen announced that it is introducing the world's first ever gender reveal lasagna. And Steph's going to put a picture up for us so we can see what this lasagna looks like.
And it'll be included in the show notes.
Basically, it's done with the classic Alfredo sauce, ricotta cheese. So in that
love lasagna.
Alfredo sauce and ricotta is dyed pink or blue, depending on the baby. So if baby's
Oh.
gender.
See?
Yeah.
You didn't see the photo. Now you're not as excited.
Because I was thinking maybe the lasagna noodles were colored.
No,
No, the whole interior is
it looks like you've cut into a cake, and it's like blue icing
It's like
in it.
Bridget Jones' Diary soup, where
Yeah,
she put
she
the
turned it
tie in. She tied the basil leaves with a string, and the string
Yes,
was blue, and she
and
put
it
it
dyed
in.
it.
And everything
like-
turns blue? Yes. So can you, yes. Anyways, you too will have to look at the show notes for that picture I'm going to post because it's not, I don't know, it's not pretty.
So I'm going to say this as an event coordinator may make me more popular or less. I'm all for having a party for things. I mean, I even do, we call them emancipation parties, which are basically divorce parties. So if someone's getting divorced and they want to celebrate that they're moving on and starting a new life, we do emancipation parties. We've done some really different things. My thing with the gender reveal party is if you're having a baby, super great that you're finding out. Everyone has a choice. Congratulations. It's a beautiful thing. I've had a baby myself. And you have a shower where everyone brings you gifts. And then you're having another party to do a gender reveal. That's where they lose me. I'm like, have one party, maybe combine it if you really want to.
Right, like the shower
But
and
here's
the
the
reveal.
reality. If you're not doing a 3D ultrasound and you're not seeing the outline of those body parts, they've been wrong.
Hit and miss.
So
Yeah, it
we
happened to
debated.
one of my cousins. She thought she was having one gender, and surprise, it was
So her
another.
whole room was pink when it should have been blue.
Something
Well,
like that.
talking
Something
about
like
people, we were talking to someone, and her friend had a twin girl. They were told they were having twin girls, so fully pinked up the room.
Right.
Came home with 2 twin boys. My son, bless his soul, they couldn't tell, they couldn't see it. So, and I actually had said that I didn't want to know. And at the very end, we'd actually asked a midwife, well, could you actually tell? And she said, actually, no, on our ultrasound, they couldn't tell. So she was glad we didn't want to know. So, I mean, all the power to you if you want to announce it, if you want to share it. Let's just remember your guests and your family as well, too, how many damn parties you're going to throw. And if you're going to do a gender reveal, tell me, what do you think of a gender reveal lasagna? Are you good with eating lasagna that's got pink or blue food coloring in it? Let me know. I'd like to hear it.
I think if you combine the gender reveal with the shower,
That's okay.
and then now the other new thing is the sip and sees.
The what?
You ever heard of sip and sees?
No.
You don't watch Real Housewives.
I do
They'll
not.
have sip and sees. So when someone has a baby, they invite everyone over to see the baby, and they have wine and bubbles and to come see the new baby. So it's sip and see. So so that's another party on top of that, right?
In my family, because we've got a Christian background, we have a christening or a baptism, and that's kind of like a sip and see for us.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Anything can be a sip and see.
Everything in my world has a sip.
Can you do a sip and see for like I'm going
A
on
new puppy.
vacation?
A
Or
new
a new
puppy.
puppy or a bird. I'd rather a bird. Less commitment.
I don't know. I heard birds are a big commitment themselves, so don't knock the bird
Maybe
thing.
a cat. I'll leave a cat. Well, I'm allergic to cats, but I'm not really. But it depends. What is
Okay.
happening? I don't know.
Okay, they're just going detours, so this is a good time. Here's this week's Dining Do from Natalie here at Lot 88, sponsored by Legacy Service Academy for personal and professional learning.
Hi, my name is Natalie. I work here at Lot 88 Steakhouse in Sudbury. Here's one of my dining do's. Please allow me to take care of you. Don't feel like you have to stack your plates and fold your napkins and push your glasses towards me. Let me take care of you. Having worked in the industry for about 20 years, I have little tricks of the trade to help me clear my tables quick and efficiently, so please allow it to me.
So, as you know, this episode is all about Niagara Wine Festivals that I dragged the girls to. First one.
It was our first road trip.
Go trip.
Did you tune in to the VIP lounge to see us on the road? You missed
We
out
were
if you didn't.
dancing.
We did. We danced. Oh, we were dancing.
We
We
were
actually need to download that video and
Actually,
share
and
it.
it wasn't even really a dancing. So our friend Jimmy Russell,
my wine
who's
dance.
also going to, he was at the beginning of this episode.
Hashtag Niagara Selfie King.
He's the Niagara Selfie King, yes. If you follow him on any of the social media channels, you'll see he's at all the Niagara events. He's one of those super volunteers, hard workers. Everyone knows him, and it's considered an honor that you got your selfie done with the Niagara Selfie King while you're there.
We got ours done.
We did. But then he also supposedly took videos when we weren't looking and we were standing in line for our tokens and kind of put it to some music. Anyways, it was a fun little video. That will also
I
get
haven't
put on the
watched
show
it
notes.
with sound yet. I saw it, I don't know where I was, and I just see myself doing this. I'm like, oh my God, he's now posted me doing my happy wine dance.
Thank goodness he cut it there before I
Before you
started
got in.
doing it.
We were way too excited to get new tokens.
Jimmy, it's called consent, my friend. It's called consent. No, I'm just kidding. It was fun.
So
Okay.
we'll just give you a quick little introduction. So there are a number of wine festivals that happen in the Niagara area. Of course, there's one of the largest, most popular wine regions in Canada. So they have festivals and events and different ways of featuring particular wineries or sub-wine regions within the entire Niagara area. There's different wine companies. Our LCBO, which is our liquor control board, they actually have a vintages thing, and sometimes they're sponsoring ones. There's a Wine Country Ontario Association that's also doing some. There are different event companies that are actually hosting some of their own or managing particular events. There are there's so many different ways that you can explore the Niagara area without simply just going in for a standard tasting. So if you want information on all of the festivals and coming up, the best thing to do is bookmark in your own browser niagarawinefestival.com. So from there you can get the Niagara Grape and Wine Festival, which is the largest wine festival and street parade in Canada. The Winter Wine Festival that we went to the first night. They also are the hosts of the Icewine Festival, which the last weekend is this weekend. We were there for opening weekend. So there's all these different things that are happening, and sometimes there's more than one event happening at the same time. A lot of them revolve around something called a Discovery Pass concept. So I just want to take a second to explain what that is. It is a way for you to explore many different wineries at your leisure throughout the event. So the Icewine Festival has one. There's one coming up later this spring called Cuvée. They also have another Discovery Pass concept. They may call them a route, same thing, but it's the same idea. You basically pay one flat fee, and they give you a list of participating wineries with the addresses. Sometimes they let you know what they're serving, sometimes they don't. The Icewine Festival did give us an idea of where we were serving these things. So we can map out, because sometimes there's tens of 20 different wineries, and you can kind of plan out where you want to go for the day, whether you want to be in Niagara-on-the-Lake, whether you want to be in 20 Valley or some of the other areas. You can kind of plan out which area you're going to be in, and you can actually use that same Discovery Pass throughout the weekend. It usually caps at so many. So all of these have that opportunity where you can pay, and it's decent price, because I think we paid like $40 some dollars for 8 different stops at the Icewine Festival as an example. So there's also one, the Cuvée one that I'm going to go to in the spring. The big event that I paid for the tasting night also included a en route pass, is what they called it, which is essentially the Discovery Pass, which you could buy it separately for $30. And at each of the different places, you get flights of different wines or samples of different wines. Sometimes it's wines with a sample of food or something. So there's a lot of different options on there.
What we paid for our Discovery Pass versus what we got, it was like
when I sent you guys
deal.
When I sent you the amount, saying, okay, well, this is how much it's costing us for the weekend, they're like, yeah, right.
It was like cheap. For a weekend of drinking wine, and we had so we also went, shout out to Airbnb. We had an amazing Airbnb home that we basically had an entire 4-bedroom home to ourselves, and it was like clean and had everything we needed. It was centrally located,
10 minutes from the wineries,
and cheap as heck. See, I was good. I didn't put our E in there for you. You're welcome.
You should have.
No E so far, but very, very reasonably priced, and we had a great weekend out of it.
You know what?
So-
I'm converted as to Airbnb.
Are you?
I had never actually experienced it until I experienced it with both of you.
Oh, no,
That
I
was my
love
first
Airbnb.
experience. Gotta say, I'm all in.
Well, we did the once,
I
and then we
know.
just did it at the Bordeaux
I
show
know.
this week, and that was a little condo, which would be very similar to what we rented when we were in Toronto. Same idea, except for we
Right.
didn't have to go to a key cafe to get a key or a 7-Eleven. This time it was waiting for us at the front desk. Like, it was so
Yeah,
easy.
and I'm staying at one in Toronto in March when I go down for with Puppy, and it's the hotels were $300 to $400 a night.
Right.
I've got a 1-bedroom condo for I think it's $160 with parking.
Totally
I know.
converted.
So, for those of you who have not obviously jumped on the Airbnb wagon, we do have a previous episode. I'll talk, and I actually walk you through on how to book your first
Yep.
Airbnb, and I'll put the link in the show notes as well. Okay, and the last thing, the last little website as well, if you want to check out any of the other wine regions in Ontario and any of their festivals and events, you can also check out winecountryoontario.ca. There's some of my favorites that are going to be coming up. The Graze the Bench event that Cynthia says she's trying to arrange so she can come with us. That's June 1st and 2nd. That's like a hop-on, hop-off bus of fun. Anyways, that's
I love hop-on, hop-off buses.
Norm and I had a lot of fun last year. I think it was 11 wineries stops that we did in one day. I know, in 5 hours. We are like professionals. The other one is the one coming up.
Wait, you did 5? How many?
I think it was 11 in 5 hours.
That's pretty
Oh,
impressive.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So the I4C is the Cool Climate Chardonnay Festival. That is a really big one that I go down to every July. Stacy was trying to get with us to help with us last year, and it didn't work out. So I'm hoping that they can join us for that one. I know Norm's finally going to arrange things that he can come with us.
That's a Norm Wine Festival if I ever heard.
I know, he's all about the Chardonnay. That's why I always said, why isn't Norm coming to that? And then Robin, my friend Robin, who's also a friend of ours at the show, she usually comes down for that one as well. But it's a lot of fun. It's stupid hot in the middle of July, and they actually have the event in an airplane hangar at the Niagara Regional Airport. It's called Flights of Chardonnay in the
that's
evening.
cool.
It's very cool. I know. Which is just like, it's our theme, right? The whole drinking in the airplane thing. And anyways,
Totally
very,
cool.
very cool. So then Winter
goodness.
Wine Festival
one
was
we
in
went
Jordan
to.
Village, was the one we went to. And then Cuvée 2019, which is March 22nd to 24th.
No, there was one of those. That's a whole festival around sparkling.
No, it's not. That's what he thought too.
What?
No, I'm pointing to Norm. You can't see him, but he's actually off camera sitting here.
Oh,
But no.
Brut Cuvée. Brut
Cuvée.
Cuvée.
So Cuvée
is
just
sparkling.
means blend.
Oh, forget it. I don't want
It just
know.
means blend. Yes.
I'm so
Cuvée,
sad.
Cuvée just means special blend. So
Yeah.
we just know that terminology from sparkling wines because they refer to specifically cuvées,
Brut
which
Cuvée,
are blends, right? So,
Damn it.
anyways, it's the winemakers. The winemakers of Ontario are showcasing their own personal favorite wines at that one venue,
cool.
and then there's a Discovery Pass. So I just bought tickets this morning.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so those just to give you an example of some of the wine, but each of the wineries also has their own events. Sometimes there's concerts. They have actual outdoor amphitheaters and stages. They have, I mean, we saw.
I cannot wait to talk about the Winter Wine Festival.
McIsaac.
That
There
was
you
one
go.
of my highlights. Is I love Irish-based or Celtic music and East Coast kind of flair.
Well, it's a good segue, so you can just
yeah.
shoot
Yeah,
just
okay.
what you thought about the Winter
Winter
Wine
Wine
Festival.
Festival.
The one thing that came to mind when what did you like? I absolutely loved the entertainment that was there. We got to meet the DJ who was doing the evening event.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Amazing DJ in the cave that they had. Absolutely worth the money that you pay for to go in. And I mean,
It was
just-
free.
It was free, right?
It was free to go
It was
in.
free for the ticket. You just bought your tokens. You went. You got to see great entertainment. Great. I mean, the DJ thing. I think you had to pay a little
You
bit
pay a little extra for the
It's
after
20
party,
bucks
but
or
it's like
$25
$25 or something.
Really,
for the
I'm
after
all
party.
about the entertainment. The whole thing brought together an amazing group of wineries to showcase their key new wines, ones that they're always showcasing. But you know, some of them are new and never heard of them. Honestly, found some really nice new loves in terms of watching. I mean, my love is in a glass now, so it's all good,
Yep.
right? So I mean, the end
Well, I
of the
think
day,
they don't have just a regular wine if you're not a big wine drinker. Because I know Cynthia,
Oh,
she was
okay,
all into
so
the mulled wine that
so
night.
it was cold. So I gotta set the stage because what I really loved about I go to these events and I'm that person who's like critiquing everything. It's like, oh, why do they have this here? Why do they have this here? And one of the things about this event is it was really done right. From the fact that there's no parking on site because it was actually in the parking lot of 22. 20.
Well, it's a Jordan
it was
Village.
it was in a
So
fire
in
station.
Jordan- So the parking was at the fire station about 2 blocks away, and it was
Loved it.
bitingly cold. So they had buses running back and forth, so you didn't have to worry about getting there. And then once you're there, they basically took up the entire village parking lot space, and they had tents, like market tents, all along the sides and all along the back. They had 2 warming tents, one at the front and a beautiful yurt in the back where we hung out because that's where all the high-end wines
Premium
were.
wines are.
Premium
exactly.
wines. That's where we went straight for.
That's how Jimmy found us.
And they
Right?
they had the heaters all over the place, and yes, my favorite. So we tried a whole ton of wines, everything from Icewine to Chardonnays to reds and everything in between. But we had a really good mulled wine, and we'll have to put a link to the winery because the name of it escapes me right now. But it was just, I swear to God, I spent most of my tickets just on that mulled wine. So we tried a few as we went through, and I kept going back, and I think it's because it was cold. But also for a mulled wine, I find sometimes you get a mulled wine and it just tastes like warm wine.
Oh. And
Whereas
this one
they
has spices.
had the blend of spices right, and they had the oranges in it and stuff, and it was just a beautiful. Like we should probably reach out to them and see if we can feature the recipe because it was that good.
Okay, we just got to remember which one it was. I could
Yeah,
actually
I
find
can
out.
find it.
Yeah, we'll find
Yeah.
out who it is. It may not be in the show notes for this episode, but we will post it later.
And something else that I loved, I love how they set it up. Just the whole, it was in a square that was already there. They had it like, it was almost like you were going to one of the Christmas markets in Europe, and you were walking through and seeing the little market booths as you were going through. In the center, they had this big pole, and it was one of the things that actually, it was really sweet. They had this pole and had little directions.
Oh, yes, to
symbols.
which wineries were where.
That kind of
Details.
stuff, and the details, and like the hanging little stars that were glowing inside of different things.
And the
big
small little
pine cones.
And the little chimeneas.
Yeah,
they
and
were
the
set up.
pine cones that were. I love that kind of stuff. It made the whole. it is what it is. When you're into the lifestyle of wine, it's actually a lifestyle. It's not only the wine, but it's how do they make it and where you're supposed to socialize. It's the whole setup. They had little fires, bonfires throughout the thing, little heater lamps, which are the bonfires. And,
Well,
you know,
and it was free to go. Like you could
free
just
to
go and
go.
experience it. And so when you're talking like entertainment, they had Ashley McIsaac on Friday night.
Can't go wrong
So
with
for
that.
us, you know,
That was
90s
me.
girls or whatever, I remember we saw Ashley McIsaac in university.
Absolutely.
And he was even more amazing now than he was, 5 years ago. And then they had on Saturday night they had Coleman Hill.
Yes.
So you have like old school kind of traditional, and then you have like cutting edge guy who's on the radio right now doing some amazing stuff, and it's all free. I mean, and you go there if you want to drink wine, and they didn't just have wine; they had food. A lot of the booths had food pairings to match the
Yep.
wine. It was just really, really well
Like-
done.
I'm
And
sorry,
shepherd's
one of them
pie
like
and-
the Icewine donut that I had
Oh,
that
they-
we showcased.
The Icewine donut that we've got photos and videos. I actually had people text me after seeing that, going, "Oh my God, that Icewine donut!" I'm like, "I know, right?"
We have some great video of Stacy eating that ice wine donut that we did not
It
put
was
on public
so good.
viewing.
It was
yet.
probably a good thing.
It's just
It
yeah.
is.
Again, it pays to be a VIP, my friends. It pays to be a VIP.
Okay.
So the next day?
Yeah. So the next day. So this was just an add-on, and then the next one was the Icewine Festival, which was one of the reasons we were going down there. This was opening weekend, and my only goal was, besides showcasing what the Niagara festivals were actually like to these girls, was also to get Cynthia to find a wine that she liked.
Yes.
Because she's not a fan of sweet wines, let alone ice wines, and I was very concerned that she may just be like asking for red wine along the way. So they did have a few, but you did well.
I did not.
You did very good.
So the same way, and again, for those who are in the VIP group, I think we posted some stuff about me eating oysters, and I have tried oysters multiple different ways, and I just can't love them, and it's okay. But I even tried them again Friday before we went to the Winter Wine Festival. I tried the oysters.
You did?
Still not good, but it's all right. And then Saturday, the ice wine. So we hit 8 wineries in 5 hours. So we did not hit Steph and Norm's record by any stretch, but we busted our butts to make it happen.
Next year we are going to hit that.
And next week, next year we're going for 11. We're going
are.
for 12.
That
12.
is our
12.
goal.
That's it. And I think the biggest joke we had at the end of the evening is that we were not intoxicated because we were so well behaved. Like, what happened there? Either that our
we were
tolerance
like
is
3
really
old
good.
ladies going to bed early. It's very sad.
So the Icewine Festival, here are the kind of highlights or the things. So it was a Discovery Pass situation where we had basically 8 tickets, they called it. It was all electronic, which was really cool. We actually had it on our phones. They scanned our phones. So cool. So we go to 8 different wineries, and you'd have a sample of ice wine and a morsel, some sort of food to go with it. And one of the things that Stephanie, knowing that I'm not a big fan of ice wine and not super sweet, she really did try to find kind of pairings where we'd have the ice wine with like a savory type of meal.
Because ice wine doesn't just go with dessert, you know.
And honestly, I would never, after having those savory combinations, the thought of having ice wine with dessert blows my mind. I'm like, why would you do it? Because I found those smoky, because even the sweet ones we did, I mean, there was a chocolate, we did a chocolate mousse, which we won't talk about the quality of the chocolate mousse. But the idea of like a dark chocolate with the ice wine was nice. The smoothness with the sweetness was good. But my favorites by far were the like smoky pairings with the ice wines. And we tried a number. I'm actually going to pull my list out because I want to talk about a couple of kind of highlights, because I'm not a big ice wine drinker normally because I don't like the super sweet of it. Our very first one was at Palatine Hills, where we had a pork roulette with a Vidal ice wine. That one I found sweet, but the pairing was okay.
The pairing.
That was
You guys, I think for
awesome.
you guys, it was your favorite.
I did
it was
mention,
my-
yeah. So we were still talking about that afterwards. So I could eat pork rillette with a spoon. So the fact that I got the pork rillette with that Vidal ice wine was just lovely.
And now the thing I liked about the Palatine Hills, and this is going to make me sound weird, is quite frankly, it was the most affordable of all the ones we
Good
went to.
point. Good point.
It was a really low price point. I don't know if it was just for the weekend, but it was a really decent price point. And you guys, like I said, I think you guys picked it as one of your favorites. So if you like ice wine, Palatine Hills had the best bang for your buck, I think.
You know what? Also, adding in, I found a new white that I liked. Was
You
their
did.
white. I brought it down.
This-
Had
this
never
the lake
tried
one?
it.
Is that the Lakeshore?
Yes.
The
Love
Lakeshore
it.
White is one of their blends.
it.
I actually,
Love it.
again, for those of you who are in the VIP lounge, that was the wine that I recommended to go along with that baked brie and the sourdough from last week's episode. So, because it's got this Riesling and Gewurz and a little bit of Vidal, but it's an easy drinking, not overly sweet, but very fruity. So to go get something salty like cheese was lovely.
I absolutely adored it, and I mean, that was a highlight for me. But I agree.
I know you really liked it.
Yep.
Now I do have to say, on the other side, I did try their sparkling. Not my thing. And I love a good crisp sparkling wine. It just had this funkiness to it that was just not
Right,
my thing.
I remember that now. We
Yeah.
talked about
It's
it.
because their Chardonnay's a little funky.
Yeah, and
The
it was
Reserve
definitely funky. So, moving on, I won't go through every winery, but I know that when it came to other wines, because we did a few flights on our tour, Consulman.
That's why we only got 8.
That's why we only got 8 in. Consulman, when it came to trying the other wines, fantastic. They have an amazing red
Consulman.
blend called their Canada blend, which literally goes with, I think they say pizza and burgers and everything in between, and I pretty much paired it with almost everything for a couple of days.
Isn't that what I was going to say? That's not the one we brought back to the room, was it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's the one I
Yeah.
tried to pair with my Cheetos.
You did try to pair it with Cheetos, yeah.
And according to what I found online, and they were right because I did the taste experiment, that's what you do on
Sauvignon
girls'
Blanc.
trips. Sauvignon Blanc goes better with Cheetos, just in case you were wondering.
So, so the Consulman's Canada Red, I actually checked, and it's available in the LCBO, and it's really reasonably priced. It's under $15, so
Yep.
that's going to become one of my go-tos, I think, for a general kind of a light.
It was a good, easy
wine.
drinking. Everyone
Yeah.
will like it. Perfect.
So we did, at the third winery, find an ice wine I liked. And not at all where I suspected. And it's funny because we didn't mention that earlier, but we are before we went to our red, we're drinking with a Jackson Triggs Cabernet.
Because we went through a bottle while we
Or
were setting
Chardonnay.
up.
We did. We went through a bottle before Cynthia got here. Imagine that. So the Jackson Triggs Chardonnay. Not a huge fan of a Jackson Triggs wine, and I don't know if it's the wine snob in me. I've just tried a number of them, and they're just not my thing.
Until I took you there.
Until I went to Jackson Triggs and tried their Reserved Cabernet Franc ice wine, paired with a smoked beef rib with a smoky barbecue sauce on coleslaw. Oh my God.
And they have a beautiful, beautiful property. I didn't
They
mean to
do.
Oh,
stop.
stunning.
I mean, if I was
They
to
do.
ever
It
get
was
married,
beautiful.
that would be one of my favorites.
Yeah, and especially
Here
when we're in the
Canada.
space
For all
we were
those of you who want to
overlooking.
get married to Stacy, just pick a winery.
If you want to marry Stacy,
Yeah,
pick a
it's
winery
either
and
that
show
or there's
up.
one in California that I got earmarked too, so it's either Jackson Triggs or one in Sydney.
Actually, Peller had
So
a beautiful estate as well too.
Yes,
Peller was our
that's
last one.
Jackson still wins.
Yeah. So, and then we went for lunch, and then we had tried a few more, and then I
Can we
think
just take a pause for lunch and just give them a shout out?
okay, it was good.
At Treadwell.
Oh.
Let Stacy do her because Stacy was
Can I
moaning
just
and
say, and here's where our E is coming. I'm pretty sure that Stacy had an orgasm at Treadwell's. I'm
It doesn't
confident.
require the Evo thing until she wants to say it, but I have never seen a girl so happy. I love Treadwell cuisine. This is downtown Niagara on the lake.
So for people who don't know, I have a confectionery arts diploma, and having had that food, I have an appreciation. We all do.
It was so good.
But to me, it was how they set up the plate, the aesthetics of it. I was like, it's almost more important to how you plate it. Because you're looking at it and you're going, how beautiful. Look at how easy he's doing. He's like taking a smear of pesto or whatever, and he's like, I mean, like, I'm
Shout
doing
out
it
to
over
Randy.
again.
And I would say, and shout out to Chef Randy.
My hero. I'm
They have
sorry,
a
your
fully
wife
open
might not like
kitchen.
it, but
They have a fully open kitchen. It's like sitting at a bar, except it's the kitchen.
It's like a
and,
show kitchen.
Oh,
and
it's
watching
beautiful.
Chef Randy do his plating. I mean, obviously it's on show, so he's got to be like meticulous. But it was, you could see it was like he was creating art with every plate. Like he really did take care and pride in what he was plating up.
It wouldn't surprise you all that I PVR cooking shows. So I mean, the reality is that
I'm like,
my
is
thing.
there any of us that don't?
Yeah, exactly.
It was one of those things we were just going to have a quick lunch and keep going, and we actually ended up ordering more food to take with us because it looked so good. Because we're watching Randy make the stuff in front of our other people, and we're like, yeah, I want one of those, and then ended up coming home back to Sudbury with us, and the two of us were actually eating our sandwich the next day.
That's
Like,
funny.
did you eat the duck fat so ciabatta bread sandwich?
Yeah, it's all the things that are not good for you, and in one bite it was,
Well, in
was
Stephanie's
lovely.
Club sandwich, instead of being 2 slices of bread,
Oh.
typically when you've got a loaf of bread, it's sliced like vertically. right? Yep,
Not there.
vertically. Not
Short
there.
ends, from the short end.
Yeah, so it was sliced on the long end or horizontally. So instead of having just like the slice of bread, it was like like a piece of a loaf of bread. It was.
And then it's fried in duck
And
fat,
duck fat.
Right.
And then it's filled with lobster and like a whipped goat cheese.
It was like
steak.
perfection.
And then there's like a side salad with truffle vinaigrette. Sorry, I'm just
So it
making
wasn't.
fun.
So it wasn't decadent at all.
We can
Okay,
keep
so back
going.
to ice wine. A couple more highlights I just wanted to share quickly. So I'm not going to call out the name of the pig caterer because I don't want to identify it because what I'm going to say is not super flattering.
Okay.
They did a roasted pig that was really, really good. But if you're going to advertise that you're doing porchetta,
Yeah,
it
and
needs to be porchetta.
correct, but I don't think it's the caterer's fault.
Maybe
on
it was that the winery
think
had
it was the
advertised
I think
something.
the winery,
So I'm not
the
like calling out
winery,
either
because I
one.
think the winery sent out the recipe and the pairing thing to the festival marketing team.
Got it.
Who promoted it, and then I think that the last minute they just decided to do a roast whole pig, which
Got
they
it.
did very, very well.
The
because they're
the roast pig was excellent. The pork was fantastic. It paired really nicely with the apple ice wine. But on that note, this was one of those places. It wasn't as bad as this one as it was. I'm going to call out Trius. Sorry, Trius, because your ice
Trius
wine was really
was-
good. I do need to share that it was a really decent ice wine at Trius.
It was just unorganized.
But let's talk a little bit about, one of the things that, and I've got a blog post drafted that's going to go up when this kind of goes out.
Please.
About the logistics around ice wine pairings or ice wine tastings or any kind of wine tasting and how the experience is for your guest. So I do need to say, I really do like Trius wines.
I
normally.
loved it. I would have bought some.
I got my husband the beer
bought a
that they were
case.
featuring. The No Boats
The
on
boats.
Sunday.
No Boats on Sunday. Yeah, we got that for Nom
Fantastic
too.
beer. My husband loved it. Now I need to get him some somehow. But the flow of it, one of the things that a lot of the wineries did well, which my colleagues might argue with a little bit, is they did have the ice wine tastings a little bit away from the main space.
I'm not arguing about that.
Which was good because we went in with our Discovery Pass. We were served reasonably quickly.
Yeah.
We got in. We got our ice wine. We
There was
got
no
out.
signage saying that's where it was, though.
That was
In any
most
of
places.
them.
Most
In
places
any
they
of
didn't
them.
have signage. So you're going to
Yeah.
want to have signage if you've got an off space for people to do tastings. You're going to want some signage so they know where they're going. Now, thankfully, a few of them had greeters who would greet us at the door and say, "Oh, if you're doing the ice wine, you're going to go here." There was a couple of them had a concierge type thing at the front where they
Yep.
kind of directed us, which was good.
Yeah, Conzelman did that.
But
He
the
agrees
other Consummate, honestly, I think we're an example of how it was done right.
Yeah.
To be honest, except for this one point. If you've got people tasting your product, have a point of sale right there.
Yes.
So the and that's like a zoom in if you can stuff, because that is the thing. If you're tasting something, the whole purpose of it tasting is to get people to buy your product. If they can't get your product where they're tasting it, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry.
Or
Right.
if someone asks you,
They
I would
did
like
it very
this
well.
wine.
They did it extremely well. Yeah.
If I like this
Yes.
wine, you should say, "Hang on, let me get it for you."
Absolutely.
Not
Go
you two
across the
through
street to
people.
another building.
gotta go.
And so this is where Trius went wrong. And bless Trius, they were busy.
way.
I mean,
Out of my way.
and a lot of
Right?
these wineries were. Give me a minute. I'm making a point here.
But that's what I felt. Didn't you feel it too?
No, very much
The
so.
anxiety started to rise because you had to think you had to go back into that other building where we had to find where we were supposed to go originally. And it was like,
And they had a point of sale thing right there because they were selling the cider and everything else. They could have easily just had a little display of the ice wine that they were featuring that day for quick sales right there.
So to clarify, when we showed up at Trius, we were directed to a building that had a sign that said tastings or store or whatever. So we went in there. They sent us across the parking lot, which wasn't too far, maybe 50 meters.
side, yeah.
Across the street to where the beer barn was, where they had the ice wine tasting. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
they
totally.
served mac and cheese. I'm sorry, it was not mac and
was
cheese,
not.
Trius. It
No.
was taco meat with macaroni. It tasted
hamburger
very
helper.
good.
It was
I had
hamburger.
2 or 3 macaroni pastas.
It would taste.
in
It
mine.
tasted
But it was
okay.
not
It was
chili
good.
mac and cheese.
Tasted good.
So, and then we had to stand in line. So again, we went into the actual store. We could not find where the tasting was. It was so busy. There was no one who could even tell us. We asked 2 people before we found out that we had to go across the street. We went across the street, stood in a line of about 15 people. It was the first and only major line we had. We didn't
Yep.
have a line that big anywhere
Correct.
else. They were running out of cups for their mac and cheese. So they were announcing every 5 minutes, "Oh, we're out of cups," but they gave us twice as much, so I didn't complain.
Right, we didn't mind.
But then we get to the end of it, and these 2 ladies were like, "We want a bottle." And so I was buying a bottle of beer for my husband at the time, cider.
Cider.
Beer.
Cider. No boats on Sundays.
I say it's
Cider.
my husband's over there. So.
Cider from Halifax.
So
Shout out to
cider,
Boats on Sunday.
so no boats on Sunday. Great cider, apparently, according to Mark.
And Norm.
And
loves
Norm.
boats on Sunday.
And so I went to pay for the cider, and the ladies wanted their ice wine. They said, "No, you need to go across the street." And that's where they failed, because if they just had their bottles there, the man at the checkout could have sold them, and they missed out on at least 2 bottles of wine, if not more.
Because we were shoppers.
And we
At
were not
least.
going back over into that nightmare that was in the store. So that's kind of my food for thought, or my big takeaway from it, is that if you're doing a tasting, the purpose of a tasting is to sell the product, and if you can't buy the product where you're doing the tasting, you just may as well not do it.
Good advice.
Absolutely. Totally on board.
Oh, and if you're serving, so one other winery, if you're serving chocolate mousse, make sure it's actually chocolate mousse and not chunky, because no one should ever have to chew chocolate mousse.
I won't even talk. I have nothing to say because it's not good, so I'm just going to
Anything else? So the other thing, we missed the Icewine Gala. We opted not to go to the Icewine Gala because
For our first year.
we had all these other things that we were wanting to try. It sounds like a beautiful event, and maybe next year we'll hopefully hit it and get that experience of dressing up and doing the wine thing.
Yeah, so I mean, it's bad enough that we had to figure out what we were going to wear just to do the other stuff. Can you imagine
Which
if we had
comfy
to bring-
clothes are we wearing today?
and there's so many layers. Like the fact we had to formal wear was just not going to happen.
Yeah, it wasn't happening.
And to give you, speaking of ice wine, here's our friend Natalie MacLean to give you a quick little briefing on my little chat with her about ice wine.
So I think in terms of ice wines, some of my favorites include Reif, R-E-I-F, and their Vidal. They make a Riesling and a Vidal, and I love both. The Vidal, though, has some really luscious flavors of apricot and peach, fresh peach. And I think people overlook ice wine generally because they always think, oh, it's a dessert wine, I'm too full. But, you know, it's a wonderful way to start a meal, too, especially if you're having anything like foie gras or just as a starter with nuts or cheese, if that's not too heavy. Mm-hmm. But I do think we can stretch ice wine's definition of where it can go in the meal past just dessert. And I'm sure the ice wine makers would like us to stretch that definition as well. I also am a huge fan of Henry of Pelham's Riesling ice wine. Mm-hmm. And I find when it comes to the Riesling versus the Vidal, you've got that nice little silver thread of acidity that balances the sweetness, and so it's a much more complex kind of wine. I think a deeper level of enjoyment. I love a Riesling ice wine with like a fruit flan or a cobbler or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Another great one is Southbrook Vidal ice wine. You get a lot of the similar flavors of the sort of peach and pear preserves or jams. Southbrook also makes some framboise, some fruit-based dessert wines that are worth trying. And as you know, they're organic and biodynamic. So, and I'm a big fan of the winemaker Anne Sperling. She's doing such marvelous things with viticulture. But those would be my top favorites in terms of from Ontario. And of course, we've got coast to coast. We've got lots of more of the apple ciders in Quebec, like Neige and Pinnacle.
Yes.
And then out in Nova Scotia, where I'm originally from, we've got Benjamin Bridge and others producing lovely dessert wines, Lightfoot and Wolfville.
Yes.
I've got
I was there their opening week, actually, when they first opened. I know.
They're fantastic things, fantastic wines. On the dry tableside wines as well, they're just marvelous. And then in BC, of course, there's all kinds of little producers. In fact, it's so hard to keep up with just the number of wineries opening up all the time. Mm. And they make such small production that, you know, often they're gone in a minute unless you do visit them, which is a smart thing to do like you're doing.
Okay, so if you like that little conversation I had with Natalie, there's more. So if you are listening to this or watching this prior to Sunday, January 27th, I am going to be having a live Facebook chat with Natalie MacLean on her Sunday Sipper Club. We're going to be talking about wine travel stories and you know how unedited and unscripted I am, so live should be interesting. I'm going to pull an interesting bottle out of my cellar and probably have a story to share about it. But basically, we're just going to share wine stories and travel talk and best regions to go and favorite funny things that have happened over the time. So that's going to be Sunday, January 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. So depending on where you're listening from. If by chance you missed it, you could always check out nataliemaclean.com and kind of follow along. And she probably has links so you can see past shows. But you just won't get a chance to win things like 30-minute consultation with me on planning your next trip to a wine region.
I'm in.
Down to
Wait,
detail.
that's mine. So, and I should clarify that Stephanie did an absolutely fantastic job in coordinating and planning.
Absolutely.
From having our itinerary of wineries to go to the fact that we used a professional DD service. Shout out to yourdd.ca because
yourdd.ca.
bless Daryl, he was a lot of fun and
Put up with us girls in the
put
back
up
of the
with
car.
us. So it's definitely what you want to get in on this kind of a service because she did a
Absolutely.
fantastic job.
So I'm willing to help out with people from wherever you're listening to. I've actually traveled 35, 36 countries, and that's not including all the little wine regions in between. So if you want that kind of stuff, all you have to do is listen to the show. Make sure you send a comment or a question or whatever during the live broadcast, and you'll actually get a chance to win that consultation with me to kind of plan your next trip.
I'm going to Stephanie next time I go on a trip because I want to know all the wineries I have to hit. That's the way it's going to happen.
In the show notes, there'll be a link that'll actually take you directly to the Facebook page where the live feed's going to be, and there's a get reminder button that all you have to do is click on it, and we'll actually just remind you of, hey, there's going to be so many minutes to make sure you're tuning in on time so you don't miss it.
Like we have that. That's awesome.
No, we don't have that.
Oh, Natalie
no,
does.
we don't have that.
Natalie
Natalie,
does.
she's way ahead of us.
we need.
Okay, so last few little notes. Now is the closing time. So thanks to Lot 88, of course, here at Sudbury for hosting us. This is their upstairs area, which they don't usually have open on Thursday nights, and they let us have the whole space to ourselves, which is a lot of fun. And there's a ton of people downstairs who are eating oysters and drinking a lot of wine, so we'll be heading down there shortly. There is still time to visit the Icewine Festival. If you're catching this before the weekend and you're near Niagara, hop in your car and get down there to go and experience some of the wineries and actually taste ice wine. Or, as I mentioned in the last show, go get a bottle of ice wine and taste it on your own. Because ice wine is a truly Canadian experience, and this is the time of year to enjoy it. Or you can plan a visit to any other upcoming events. I have a newsletter that I haven't mentioned before on that. So we have a newsletter here for the show, which we send out quarterly. We don't email you tons of other stuff. That's not us. But it's just a quarterly newsletter. It gives you updates on upcoming stuff, gives you links for things that are maybe behind the scenes that you wouldn't get before. Any other contests, you can get a heads up on those kind of things. Travel dates of where we're going to be and when. So that goes out quarterly. So anytime you go to the show notes, you'll actually see at the very bottom where there's a little picture of me. It says sign up here for your newsletter. If you click on it, there's a little form that pops up. Very easy. And again, it's only quarterly. Don't send you extra stuff. And then on top of that, I send out, just for people that I've done wine classes for, whether it's corporate or private, just on wine events, special tastings, similar to the Bordeaux Union de Grand Cru event that Stacy and I just went to. I always have a list of those things that I'm going to on an ongoing basis, and I put them together in one newsletter so that if you have any interest in attending any of these events on your own, if you want to come meet us, or you want to go when I'm not there, I'm okay with that. It's not just wine stuff, but sometimes there's beer festivals, other kind of things that I hear about. Basically all the drinking events that happen. Kind of put them all together in one little newsletter. Again, I send that quarterly. All you have to do is send me an email at info@stephaniepichet.ca and just put in the subject line wine newsletter, and then I'll know to add that email address that you sent it from, and I'll send it to you that way. You can
Just
send
so
it
we're clear, anytime you're drinking with Stephanie, it's a drinking event.
It is.
Please, you're making it
Absolutely an event.
it's an event.
It's an event.
It's an event.
It's
It's
an
like
event.
wear your stretchy pants, peeps.
Every day.
Every day.
So, Stacy, where are you going to be next week?
I'm going to be in Cozumel. What am I going to be doing?
I'm like, what the heck? This is the first time I found out she's going to Cozumel.
She just told me while we were in Toronto. She actually booked it while we were in Toronto.
I booked it while we were in Toronto. It's a last minute thing with one of my girlfriends in Toronto, Lisa. And I just last minute, I'm going
Nice.
to, can I throw out where I'm going?
Yeah, sure,
Feel free.
absolutely. Yeah.
Secrets or Cozumel. I'm looking forward to experiencing. I've never been to Cozumel before, so it's going to be an extremely amazing thing because I've been to Mexico many times, but to say I've been to that area. I love Playa de Carmen.
Yeah.
But to be able to try Cozumel and be able to say, oh, I want a break, I want to go on an excursion, let's go to Playa de Carmen and go to that one tequila place where they have the barrels where you can taste before you choose to buy. You can just taste and not buy.
I don't know what that is, but I'm going to get more information about it after when we go off the air. We'll talk about it after.
Well, I'm going to take videos. And the
Okay.
thing is that is the best.
I
I
hate
still
you.
have a bottle that looks like a pyramid. Well, not a pyramid. It looks like one of the Aztec pyramids.
I have that at
The
home.
blue one? The blue
Yes.
one with the gold
Yeah.
top. Got it too.
I have that.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, we'll have to do another tequila shot.
what is happening?
So,
They're holding out on me.
So I went through this whole little store the
We're
last
gonna
time
plan
I
a
was
tequila
there.
show.
Sorry. I went through this one little tequila shop and I like tequila, but I like tequila in a margarita.
Oh, no, I'm
And
a tequila
so-
girl.
Well, but I can't do tequila shots, but I do margaritas. But I don't like them. I don't like them like that. I like them like on ice.
Oh, no.
Give me
No, that's
so
fine.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to Cozumel because I've never
That's
been.
cool. That's
Secrets,
exciting.
Gonna be fun. What am I gonna do? Relax. And I'm gonna go to the spa and check it out and
Because we're going to do a spa travel episode coming up, so she's going to do some more research and stuff for us down there. It's a hard life that we have.
It is.
And Cynthia, what else are we doing
Okay,
next week?
so fine, whatever. She's me and Cozumel at a spa, drinking
sorry.
tequila. I'm sure I'm not jealous at all. But we are doing a coffee show.
I wish I love
So
coffee.
Steph and I are celebrating our mutual love for good coffee. So we're not talking going to Tim Hortons and having that burnt
Sorry,
shit that they
nothing
pour.
against Tim Hortons. I know it's a Canadian thing, but
no.
we've talked about it in the show before. Not a fan
Not
of
my
Tim
thing.
Hortons.
So we're doing
Gotta get
previewing
banned
a
by Tim
series of
Hortons.
coffee classes that are held by Salute Coffee Company here in Sudbury. They're going to be holding them specifically as well during Flavor Fest. So we're going to go try some good coffee, talk about what makes a good coffee, and give them a little bit of a showcase.
Yeah, so we're going to give you a little preview of what some of the classes are going to be like, but we'll actually have one of the local baristas. She's a superstar. She's actually lived in Australia and was trained there before, so we get that Australia connection, but she's going to, and her name is also Stephanie. So anyway, she's going to give us
We'll go nerd out
a
about
little
coffee and
how-to
Stephanie's.
or whatever, how to prepare that perfect cup of coffee. Because, so we
Espresso
thought,
martinis.
okay, that's a whole other.
Okay.
I
I'll
don't
take
think
a video of the coffee.
They are, oh, they're,
yeah, I
I'll
like
do some
Mexican
video
coffee too.
So yeah.
I know. Yeah, so on to the
Check it
coffee.
out.
Anyways, coffee show next week. So we were talking about Flavor Fest. We have several events already posted on the website, on the Facebook page. Hotel discounts are also available. I know the Clarion Hotel here downtown Sudbury is already posting rates as low as $99. I know Town Place Suites is going to be posting their rates very soon as well. So if you're not from the Sudbury area and you want to come and take the trek up, we're basically eating and drinking all weekend long. Yay! And one of the cool things is that here, even at Lot 88,
We're doing that.
I talked about the oyster special. They're going to be running the oyster special not just Thursday, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday that weekend. And on Saturday afternoon, they're having an oyster shucking competition, which is going to be way fun. Cynthia, the chef here, she's so excited about it because she said there's going to be like gloves and knives and boards and oyster shells everywhere.
and no blood. The event planner goes, and no blood.
Hello, insurance waivers.
I might have to buy into this just to see if I can actually
see if
figure
you
it
can do it.
out.
Okay, you can
I've
come
never
back.
done
You can
it.
come back. So we're actually going to do a little demo. So we're going to come back here prior to that event, and I'm going to do a
I've
little
never done it.
video in the kitchen,
I
so
have no
Cindy
clue.
can actually walk us through the proper way of opening an oyster. So that's going to be prior
I would
to
love that
the
experience.
March experience. Yes. So you'll have to follow on the Facebook page for Flavor Fest. So this is a Canadian way. If you're not Canadian, it's FLAVOUR. So look for Flavor Fest. All you have to just look in your Facebook search bar, or you can go to flavorfest.ca, and that's where the website is. There's a link to the Facebook page, as well as all of the events. Every time that I've finalized one, we just keep posting them. So there's about 5 of them there now. I've got another 2 that are coming in. I'm trying to do like drip one, like another day, another day, another day. So there's going to be all kinds of fun stuff coming up. So I'm very excited about it.
Okay,
Okay.
so we keep talking about the benefits of being in our Flying for Flavor VIP group.
Come on.
So we've been talking about, we posted on our Facebook, if you've seen it, that we've got a Niagara Wine Festival, specifically Niagara Icewine Festival gift pack, featuring some things I'm not going to tell you about, but our winner can share it when she gets it. And I say
Absolutely.
she because we've done the draw, and Anne Connolly, you are the Flying for
I'm
Flavor
going to be so excited.
VIP guest. So I'm telling you, it pays to be a VIP because Anne is walking out with a pretty decent gift pack, and I'm sure she'll
She's gonna be
she'll
very
share
excited.
in the group about. So Anne, we'll find you
She
and we'll
may
arrange to
not.
get
She
you the
may
pack.
not share it with you.
She's not gonna share it with you, but I bet you.
you what was
I'm gonna
in
get her. She'll take some videos, some photos, and say, "Look at this is what these awesome ladies gave us." So thank you, Anne, for being one of our VIPs, and we look forward to our next contest we hold. In the meantime, if you're not in there yet and you want to get in on this good stuff next time, including the behind-the-scene videos of things like Stacy eating donuts and Cynthia eating oysters,
and like me posting that we were having oysters before she got here today. And set up stuff.
as well as the contest, join the Flying for Flavor VIP Lounge. If you go into Facebook and look for FFF VIP, it'll come up, and you will need the password. The entry code is mobile. That is
we're
good.
mobile this season.
That
right?
is good until January 31st, and then you're going to need another one. So may as well go and join right now. We'll wait. Hold on. Go join. You in? Okay, cool.
Cool. Welcome to the VIP lounge.
In the meantime, we want you to rate and subscribe to us. We're on iTunes and your favorite podcast player, and subscribe to your YouTube channel that we have. You know what? We want you there. We want you everywhere. Watch, rate, see, and enjoy, and learn. Come on out. And sometimes, you know what? If you're part of our VIP area, you'll be able to come join us.
Yeah, because we always have some meet and greets and stuff. And I just walked Stacy through on her podcast player on the weekend.
I know.
Because I mean, so just show you how. But it was easy though, right?
But thank you. And I want to say, you know what? I'm kind of like a little hesitant. So if you're a little hesitant, you don't know, we can help you.
Yeah, so send us a
reach out.
message.
Message
so
us on the
Apple
page,
Podcasts app, if you're going to come and give us a rating, all you have to do is go to, there's a library button at the bottom that gives you all the different shows. Click on shows and then go and look for or search for Flying for Flavor. Once you've opened it up, make sure you scroll down until you see where all the stars all the way across, and then give us maybe, 5 stars because you love us so much. And that automatically gives us a rating, and that actually helps us not only just go up the iTunes ranking, but it just allows us to be seen by more people who are listening to podcasts. So there might be other people who also love food, drinks, and travel as much as you do, and they're missing out on our episodes because we are down there because people aren't rating us. So if you're listening to it and you like the episode, you can rate the episode, you can rate the podcast. We can send us comments. If you're on the YouTube channel, you can like the video, right?
Absolutely.
You can subscribe to it. You can hit the little bell button and you get notified when the next episode comes along. You can leave little comments and questions for us. So if you really want to know how Stacy really liked that ice wine donut, you can actually put that on the bottom. Every time I'm uploading new ones, you can actually get I actually see all the questions and comments, and I will forward it to the appropriate person, including wedding proposals for Stacy.
And I want to hear that.
No, we talked about weddings. Okay, she's already said.
Sorry, but you know what? We should actually maybe, if you actually reach out to us, we will help you learn how to do all this. But not only that, you might get one of the videos of me eating the ice.
There's a bonus thing.
So there's a bonus, and trust me, I'll give it up if you actually want to know.
Because usually she's pretty okay with us posting anything.
That
And
one
when
I
this was
like,
a no.
Please don't. But you know what? We're willing to do it. I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it for the team. Let's do it.
Okay, so from all of us, we really hope you need to start going to seeing wine festivals. Whether you're coming to the Niagara region, whether you are going to Okanagan out in BC, whether you're going to the Halifax area out in Nova Scotia, whether you're going to California, whether you're going to Spain, go to wine festivals and events. It's the producers and wine industry's way of showcasing some of their best. Gives you an opportunity to sample and kind of expand your horizons a bit, because trying something new is all what we are about.
Absolutely.
One new thing.
Cheers, ladies. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks so much for watching this video. We love putting it together. It's so much fun. All of our favorite things, good food, good drinks, a lot of travel talk, and we put it all together in one fun show. So make sure you follow us here, click on the videos below, follow, subscribe, and find us on your favorite podcast player. We'll see you on our next trip.